We have with us this morning Mayor Anthony Copeland and Chief of Staff Sandra Favela. This is our first program for 2018, and of course the mayor is here to give us an update on all the happenings that have taken place over the past year and what the future holds for the city of East Chicago. So we are going to be taking your phone calls at 219-845-1100. And with that said, let's say good morning, Mayor Copeland.
Good morning, Bertie. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. How about you?
First time I see you for the new year.
It's good to see you. You still can't hear? So Ryan, we got to get the mayor's earphones turned up so he can hear. And of course, Chief of Staff, Sandra.
Good morning, Burley.
How are you doing?
Good, good. How about you?
Great. So are we hearing you now? Okay.
Yes.
Someone had unplugged your
loud.
Okay, great. So tell us what's been going on in the city of East Chicago. It's always great to have you here in the studio, and of course to the viewers and listeners in the city of East Chicago, they can tune in. We have with us Ryan Lomax. He's our new intern, and of course Steve Segura from ECTV.
Well, Bertie, all I can tell you is that we've been blessed to have a little snowfall, less salt, savings there. City of East Chicago is starting off right now. I tell everybody we've been blessed financially. We're very stable. Also, I have to say that all the city workers have been wonderful. Police and fire, I commend them. I got to give kudos to the police department. This is the 6th year in a row that crime have gone down in the city of East Chicago.
That is fantastic.
Yes.
We're going to have to talk a little bit more about that. What do you attribute that to?
The new technology, we've embraced it. License plate readers from Shot Spotter to Trainer Simulator for our police department, training for the police department. And now we're getting a younger force also. So that turnover. And I just attribute it to the cohesiveness of them because now, we have a merit system where now they can test and compete with their peers equally through testing. So it's just a combination of all. I think the people are buying in as far as at the community policing level, that if you call, we're handling your calls. Before there was a thing that maybe murders wouldn't be solved, but now last year we had 5 and all 5 of them have been solved. I just think it's just a thing of everybody is buying into the thing when we say East Chicago is a city of hope and progress.
What are you doing to attract not only citizens from East Chicago to join the force, but also to get police officers to live in the city of Chicago?
Right now we have housing incentives. Right now, if any of our workers buy in the city of East Chicago, they get $15,000 down payment assistance for a home.
15,000?
15,000.
Wow.
Yes. And if they build a new one, they get 30,000 toward home ownership. We also have it where if you're a resident of East Chicago, you get promotional points when you take a test. You get residency points also. So I think it's just a combination of all of these things.
Fantastic. All right, moving forward, I know we're not going to just focus on law and order. What else is going on in East Chicago?
Good.
Oh, there's a lot going on, Burley.
Sandra, how long have you been in the role now?
I would say about more than 6 months now. So I know the first time I was here, I was really, really nervous. And
Well, we know it's 6 months because I told her she couldn't get some cards until she had 6 months in.
Oh, wow.
She just got her cards the other day.
I just got him like
He's a
2 days
strict
ago.
boss, isn't he? You can't get business. Well, I'm still waiting on business cards from WJOB, so yes, you're doing better than me then.
Yeah. Mayor has a wonderful team and a great group of people that work for East Chicago, and everyone is just out there every day giving it their all, 100%. And like the mayor said, that the police force, the fire department, they're out there daily, giving it their all. And it's just a great thing. Everybody in East Chicago that works for the city, they're just giving it their all. 100%.
We got the 2 new community centers coming online. One should be coming up around April or maybe late May, and the other one will be coming online maybe around June.
What are the locations? I know I've seen one of them.
We have one at the Old Heritage Hall location, and the other one is at Broadway and Guthrie.
Right, that used to be the Harbor Foods.
Yes, the
Right.
old Harbor.
I saw that one coming up. I'm like, yay!
So for a while, Mayor had out there what should we call the Penn Center? You know, it was always Penn Center, and he's still contemplating what to name that center. But
So you got a contest, Mayor?
Well, we did a thing online through Facebook, and so then we got about 20 different names. People say we should name it, so then we're going to narrow it down and then go from there.
All right, so you're not going to be like a former mayor and name it the Anthony Copeland Community Center.
Well, one of the suggestions was,
yeah.
and also, Verdi, another thing we got exciting going on is our aquaponics. That's been up and going, flourishing.
Tell us
at the
about
greenhouses. Over at our greenhouse, you know, we got 4
the
greenhouses. Yeah, and I was told that a good thing was to start producing fresh vegetables and everything, getting it to the seniors, getting it out to the community where you can have like farm stands and stuff and sell it, to give them more access to fresh vegetables.
So this is year-round farming
Yes.
in Washington Park.
Yes.
Currently, right now, they have like basil, lettuce, and it's free for the community. And Myra Costa, who's the director there, along with Hilda Alaman, who supervises the greenhouse, they're trying to branch out for more produce. And so Myra sent her crew out to training, and they're hoping to bring in more produce into the greenhouse.
Great.
Yeah.
It's really
It's a place to go see. It's right in Washington Park.
Right, I'm going to have to go take a look.
Yeah, so there's been, Mayor's putting a lot of dollars in the greenhouse. They're fixing the glass in the greenhouse. There's some, unfortunately, broken glass, the wind.
And not only that, you know how traditionally people go out and they shoot their guns on New Year's Eve? Well, anything goes up must come down, and some of the glass got shattered from bullets coming down, you know.
Luckily it was glass and not the
but-
situation
yes.
in Hammond where a young
Yes.
boy was killed as a result of a
And
bullet
like I say,
coming down.
sometimes people are not
Yeah.
cognizant of that something that you think you're doing for a joyous moment can have a tragic effect.
Exactly.
And the other thing Mayor's doing is he's focusing on the centers, renovating the centers, so he's doing one by one. Right now, we closed down the Marktown Center just to do some major renovations. So that takes, it's going to be maybe about a 2-3 month process.
Great. So Marktown is still hanging in there
Yes, yes.
and still putting money into the community. That's a good
And
thing.
if you go to Sunnyside, you'll see that we have a very aggressive renovation going on in Sunnyside. We're now getting both sides of the duplex to buy in, and then we're completely siding the structures, fiber cement siding, replacing the windows. Since both of them share one roof line, we do a continual roof line across where they have the same shingle instead of this one got blue, this one got red, you know. And it's been a very successful program. You go into Sunnyside now, Burley, you can see every unit that we've touched and the values. It has brought the values up. We're going to do the same thing in the Marktown area. We're going to get both sides of the duplex to buy in, and then they also will be able to have that from the city, and that costs the owners nothing.
You're kidding.
Yes.
You're doing these major renovations on homes and
Yes. And the Sunnyside area, I think on both sides, we're probably averaging about $80,000 for exterior rehab.
this is fantastic.
And we're going to do the same thing in Marktown. We invested heavily in their parks. They got new equipment in the parks. We renovating the centers, the Marktown Center, and now we're getting ready to take this aggressive rehab program into Marktown.
How's the city of East Chicago able to afford to do this?
Everybody say I make that dollar holler. I've been very frugal with the money, Bertie. I have. I've been putting away rainy day funds. When I first started and I came in, the city was $15 million in debt.
I know.
The workers was on furlough day. Police and fire had 5% reduction in their pay. And today I can proudly say that we have a $10 million surplus.
It's amazing. I was looking at a timeline the other day about East Chicago and the things that have happened since you've taken office. And it hasn't been that long that you've been in office, but the results have been amazing.
I've been in office 49 years. I do it
yeah, okay. Well, if you want to add it up, I'm sure you can add how old you are too to that. But 49 years you've been serving the city of East Chicago. But you know, in your capacity as mayor.
No, I do that as a joke, saying each year for like 7 years. Like
no, I understand. It's just amazing to have. I think you are the only city in this area that has a surplus.
Well, I can't speak for the rest of them, and it's been hard. It's been hard. We've made those fiscal decisions that we've had to make. Even here recently, I've had a difference of opinion.
Let's talk about that, because you've been in the news over this.
Yeah, I've had a difference of opinion with the city council. The people have put me in charge on spending money and where we invest the money and you know, recently our budget reverted. The council had taken some actions that I didn't care for, and so then I vetoed the budget, and it went down to the Department of Local Government Finance, and they reverted our budget back to from the 31.7 million that I wanted, and which it was a balanced budget. It was a beautiful budget. I mean, it really was. And now the budget reverted back to 27.3 million.
So that's a loss of
roughly $4 million.
$40 million.
A little over $4 million, yes.
Based on what? What were the main things that the council was asking for that were not in line with what the budget called for?
One of the things I disagreed with was the way that they wanted to move money around. They wanted to take money out of legal, in which I had put an excessive amount of money in legal only because we're facing
those lawsuits.
With the lead.
Right.
With the lead, then we're also facing a lawsuit with that speeding case when they was chasing this guy and
the young girl who was killed. Yes.
And when the young girl lost her life.
Right.
That case is coming, and there's other legal things that are.
So
pending.
you were being proactive in having money set aside.
To put a surplus off to the side. And so they wanted to just take the money from there, then put some money in their own budget for themselves, and I totally disagree with that.
So I mean, basically, when you say put money in, you're talking about in the city council budget,
yes,
which would be used for what?
For them, they want to use. They said they want to use it for travel.
So we got to move the mic closer.
Okay, they said they want to use it for travel.
So okay, I'm not going to get into. If I was doing the Truth TV show of that, getting into travel. So basically, you wanted to put money aside to handle lawsuits that were coming into the city. They wanted to put it, because I thought there was also mention that they wanted raises in the city council.
Well, they wanted for travel, and that was the other area. They wanted to move it over to police and fire for a 2% raise.
Okay, so when's the last time police and fire have received raises?
In 2015.
Okay, so
the whole city received a 3% raise in 2015 and a $1,000 bonus.
Wow.
And I had already planned to give a 3% across. When I give raises, I give it across the board. I had already planned to give a 3% raise across the board for all employees, including police and fire, and a $1,500 bonus.
So that would have come out of your 3.7%, the $31.7 million budget.
Yes.
Now, with it reverting back down, will that be a possibility, or?
I tell people when I give a promise, I keep it. We do have a $10 million reserve. I will be talking with the council about additional appropriation to restore that budget back to a $31.7 million budget. Because the things that we wanted to do in that budget proactively, and the raises that we wanted to give, we can still do.
Okay, that's great. That's great to hear, because there's so much going on in the city, and I know you appreciate the work that the workers are doing, so, and I'm sure they would appreciate the raises and the bonus.
But until then, until the budget is restored back to $31.7 million, I will live off the 27.3, and that's why I have frozen overtime. I told them I had suspended any new hiring. Travel have been, well, training mostly have been suspended. Like I said, I have frozen those things because until that money comes safely over on this side and I can safely spend it, then I have to live off of what I have. And what's in front of me now is $27.3 million.
Well, I know that you will not be a mayor who will run a city in debt.
Oh, no. No.
Cassandra, as being the chief of staff and, you know, working with Mayor Copeland, what do you see as your role? What have you been doing these past 6 months?
Basically getting myself acclimated into all the departments. I've been meeting with several department heads, sitting down with them or writing with them to understand what their daily operations are. In HR, excuse me, I knew about the employees in their department, but as far as the operations, I wasn't too familiar to some of the departments. So just getting myself familiar with all of that. It's a lot of work, you know, and the marina is another place that there's a whole lot of investment going on, and there's all kinds of equipment out there getting to work. Even in, we just went yesterday, right, Mayor?
Yes.
And we saw the improvements that they're doing over there. It's coming along.
When's the completion date for the marina?
Probably around June.
So just in time for
early
the
June.
summer
Early.
season?
Yes. I mean, that's everything completed.
And that's
completely
the
done.
facility. What is the name of the building now?
The East Chicago Marina.
So no new name has been added to it?
No.
Okay.
Just East Chicago Marina. Like I say, we added amenities on the beach side. We put in a new concrete stage where they can perform right off the beach area. We put cameras all over in the marina and the lake area. We on the promenade that jettisons out into the lakefront. It goes out maybe about 2,000 feet into the lake. All along there, it's going to be benches. It's going to be awnings for shade covering underneath. Then along the marina, we have a marina walk where you'll be able to go along. We have sculptural features that we're putting inside of there. We also got a new roundabout on Aldous Avenue in that area. And we also got a nice water fountain feature that shoots out the water and with dancing color lights. All new railing around the marina that have lights that illuminate at night.
Are you going to be charging people to park there like the other communities are?
I think, you know, you build it, and then when they come, and then they see they enjoy themselves, then you also have to say, how do we do basic maintenance? And then usually all indicators point to you usually have to put some type of fee in, yes.
Because Whiting has a fee, and of course Gary, I'm not sure about him. But
Even when we were riding around yesterday at the marina, Ameristar even gave us some light fixtures. So it's nice to see businesses helping out in the city to beautify the city. It's a nice treat there.
now, does Ameristar have a new owner coming in, or?
Yes, they got a new parent company that came in. I will be meeting with them shortly. And to see what direction they're going in. I recently was asked to come from the local management that's there now, and they took me on a tour where they're expanding bringing it on land base, some of the new slot machines, tables, and all like that. So they've made an investment to expand, and they also will be calling me in because they're going to do a $24 million renovation of the boat.
Wow, that's fantastic. So a lot of investment in East Chicago. Also, I think on your website you mentioned are there community cleanups getting ready to take place?
Yes. We have our annual team up cleanup that's coming, and then we've always had our annual cleanup of the city by districts.
And then we also have in the summertime, the summer program, the kids come out, the students come out to help out the Public Works Department, Marina, and even the Park and Recreation. But hearing all of this, even the mayor incorporated something last month and said, we need to do something. We've got to get everybody in East Chicago who loves their city. And he said, what can we do? And we came up with an idea. And the mayor wants the students, K through 12, to basically do an art piece. Why do they love their city of East Chicago? And then we're going to have a contest. You know, who's the winner from, you know, from different categories, from K to third. There's different levels. And it'll be a first, second, and third prize. So that more information on that will be provided to everybody in East Chicago, hopefully by this afternoon, on the website www.eastchicago.com.
And we will be taking that artwork and we will be turning it into murals around the city. Also, we will be displaying the artwork on the buses, and also we will be displaying it in City Hall.
That's fantastic. You know, on Martin Luther King, the day after Martin Luther King's birthday celebration, I went to Purdue and Judge Curiel was there, Gonzalo Curiel from East Chicago. And there were students there from EC Central as well as Bishop Knoll, which has a lot of East Chicago kids going to school there. And it was so inspiring to see the great heights that an individual from East Chicago can achieve. And of course, you, Mayor, being from East Chicago, being the mayor of the city now. So there's a lot of inspiration for the youth coming up that they can achieve anything.
And really, one of my proudest moments was when Ulysses Bridgman had came back in town, because we had named a street after him, and to just see how well he's done in business.
With Wendy's and
yeah,
oh my goodness.
Well, we can go on and on with Kewan Short. We got Moore, Etwan Moore. I mean, we just got so many examples of greatness coming out of East Chicago.
The great part is that they come back.
Yes.
And give back to the community.
Yes.
And inspire the youth of East Chicago. That's fantastic. So what else do we have going on, Sandra? Because I know you're busy. And I have to give a shout out to Irene because she does a fabulous job at making sure everybody's on where they need to be, right?
and also, Bertie, we're doing a $3 million facelift on Block Stadium. We're restoring it to its old grandeur. We are actively now going to have like a semi-pro team there.
Oh, really?
And I'm looking forward to playing against Mayor Sahura.
Oh, okay. That's fantastic.
And then against the Railcats over there with Ken.
All right. So East Chicago will have their own minor league.
That's what we're looking for now.
Fantastic. So new bleachers, the whole work's coming in.
Yes.
That's the next step right now.
New scoreboard, new turf, just completely renovated.
Okay, now you're not gonna put any skyboxes in or any of that suites or any of that high-priced stuff?
No, we're just gonna restore it back to how it originally was. I mean, because it kind of mimics Wrigley Field when you look at it, you know.
With the partnership with the ADA committee, Mayor said, you know, make sure that it's all ADA compliant.
Fantastic.
So, that's another proud thing that the Block Stadium will have.
So people who have disabilities will still be able to get in there and enjoy a game.
And that's something we've done in all our parks too, Bertie. All our parks have ADA accessibility. We have ramps on everything in the park. When you go to all the shelters, there's ramps that lead you where they don't have to struggle in the grass. You go to the washrooms, you go right up ramps to go inside the washrooms. We've been very cognizant of that. Rudy Velasco, he's on that committee, and he represents it well. So we've incorporated that. You go across all our corners, our street corners, all of it is ADA. So we've been very aggressive in that area.
That's great. And then I noticed so much beautification in the city, from the roundabouts when you first come into the city, your entry points to the city. I was looking online at your veterans service that you did with the veterans from the city of
yes.
East Chicago and, you know, the surrounding area that came out to honor the veterans. And it just seems like East Chicago is truly, you know, not only recognizing the old, but also bringing in new and making East Chicago a great place for people to want to live.
Something new we did this year for the veterans, we put some red, white, and blue lights in Kosciuszko Park to basically those veterans or soldiers that are out there, dedicating the holidays to them. So that was a nice touch for this year, holidays.
Well, when I see Ryan coming in, I know he's getting ready to tell me my time is coming to an end. And of course, it goes so fast when it's just 30 minutes to get in all that's going on in the city of East Chicago. But if people want to follow East Chicago and the happenings of East Chicago, what should they do when they want to know what's going on in the city?
Definitely, they can go on to www.eastchicago.com, or they could also sign up on Nixle, which is 888-777, and then just text the message EC events, and you can get notices of what's going on in East Chicago.
Okay, and the other thing, I know Steve is in the background, but do you have to be a resident of East Chicago to sign in to get updates on what's going on in East Chicago, or can anyone just put their information in and get feedback?
Anyone can, dial that Nixle app. They can get all kind of notifications.
Great. Well, Mayor Copeland,
Thank you,
Sandra, I appreciate you both coming in
Thank you.
today and giving our listeners here on WJOB, but also the residents in East Chicago and Lake County, an update of what's going on in the city. Great work, keep it up.
Thank you, Burley.
Thank you both. You've been tuning in to the East Chicago Show here on WJOB. Stay tuned for the award-winning Veterans Views program. Ernie Dillon's in the house. Hey.
All right.